Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another wrestling review. I'm of course joined by my roommate and future internet superstar, Joe. Say hi, Joe. He's happy about his new show. Well, it's Thursday night. You know what that means. Time for some impact. Ugh. Let's try to get through this. I got my notes. Let's do it. Anderson comes out, as you haven't heard already. He defeated Sting in the most bullshit way possible at Slammiversary last Sunday. So he comes out and he's celebrating. He's got a whole spread set out, and then Gunner comes out. He says that's because he's the one who beat Sting last week and made it possible for him to be world champion, that Anderson should give him the first title shot. Anderson, of course, says that there are a bunch of other more deserving guys ahead of him, so he's SOL. Then he hits Gunner with something which cuts him open pretty badly, and Gunner puts him through a table. I'm sensing a trend here. Next up, we have our first match of the night. It's Devon versus the leader of the Mexes, Ubermex Hernandez. This was a very short match, nothing inspiring, nothing too good. It's just two big guys just running into each other for about 5 minutes. Then the Pope comes down. Now, if you haven't watched Explosion, like I know you have because no one could find where to watch fucking Explosion, you would know that for some reason Pope and Devon are feuding, mostly because the Pope is making unwanted advances towards his wife and kids. Anyway, the Pope is out there chatting it up with his sons and his wife, who is a little bit finer than I think. Do I smell actress? Anyway, the match ends in FUBAR because Mexican America decided to jump in and try to jolly stomp on Devon. Pope only goes in at the urging of Devon's family, and he clears house. There's some miscommunication, there's some words exchanged and some between Pope and Devon, and as Devon leaves, Pope runs across his family yet again, giving handshakes to his sons, and Devon's wife giving him the look. Next up, Kurt Angle comes out. He says that he is finally done with Jeff Jarrett, and that's a fact. He's done with them, and now he's going to focus. Not only does he have a world title shot, but now that, well, he's the #1 contender, but now he announces that next that he will begin training to participate in the Olympic wrestling team for next year's Olympics. He will be 43 next year, so he would be the oldest man to ever compete for the Olympic gold medal in freestyle Olympic wrestling. If that's true, good luck to you, Kurt. You'll need it. Jeff Jarrett comes out begging for one more match because it ain't over until the founder says it's over. Excuse me. Oh yeah. I thought this was supposed to be the final battle last Sunday. This is like hell. It's just making us watch the same feud over and over again. At least with Cole and King, at least they had a decency to end it meaningfully and give it some resolution. This just keeps going on and on. So Jeff decides, hey, I want one more match. No ring, no cage, no Karen, no kids. Mano a mano. One of us gotta go. So Kurt decides, well, since your word doesn't mean anything, I want it written up and drawn up in. I want it written up in writing that after I beat you, you leave, go to Mexico. His exact words. So they agree. Tonight, the final super ultimate end of all battles, super special, awesome, final confrontation, final conflict, whatever you want to fucking call it, to end all things between Jeff Jarrett and Kurt Angle. Next up, they announced the Bound for Glory series, in which I think 12 wrestlers will be competing in special series matches, where the best ones with the best records will go on to Bound for Glory and blah blah blah. Basically, it's like the ranking system. How long before TNA screws this up? I'd say next week, but I'm an optimist. Next up, it was announced that that Destination X will be an all X Division pay-per-view featuring old and new stars from the X Division. A 12-man tournament. I actually like this. And what a way to start off. We have legendary ECW superstar and X Division superstar Kid Cash, one half of the Rock and Rave Infection, Jimmy Rave, and the man himself, two-time ROH World Champion, the man who put the man in manager, A-Double, Austin Aries. And this was the best fucking match of the night, maybe of the year as far as Impact Wrestling goes. This is harking back to the old glory days of the X Division. It was just an epic confrontation between three very talented men. In the end, Austin Aries wins, and he deserved rightfully so. Then we go from awesome to downright horrible, as we had the TNA Knockouts tag titles are on the line, as Sarita and Rosita defend against Velvet Sky and Miss Tessmacher. This match was horrible. It just felt dragged on, and it was just... Hold on a second. Ugh. Stay with me, Joe. I did not enjoy this match at all. Not just because of the fact that it's the Knockouts, not because of the fact that the TNA Knockouts tag belts have no meaning at all. It was just bad wrestling. Ugh. ODB comes in the audience, distracts Velvet Sky, and somehow Rosita gets the pin. Then afterwards, after Miss Tessmacher leaves, Velvet Sky is jumped by Jackie. That's right, Miss Jackie, the Pride of Tennessee, is back in TNA. So now, Velvet Sky in the past 6 months has feuded with Rosita and Sarita. I think Hamada before she left. Winter. Angelina Love. Who else? The Woman of 1,000 Gimmicks. I can't even remember her name. I mean, she's just feuding with everyone. She's moving on from feud to feud. Good Lord, who is she blowing back there? Next up, we get a Hogan and Sting. Well, we get some BS about Hogan calling Jeff Jarrett the King of Kings. Then we get Sting's scene that will win him a daytime Emmy, as he goes batshit nuts on Hulk Hogan. You gotta see it to believe it. I'm not even gonna say it's just crazy to watch Sting do this. It's just insane. Harkens back to last year when he was the evil fucker Sting. Joe was actually scared of evil fucker Sting. Next up, there's an interview with Austin Aries backstage when Eric Young, of all people, challenges Wayne from the Wonder Years. Apparently he's been working in wrestling. I didn't know about that. And beats him in a... It's too fucked up for me to actually do it. I can't even say it without actually being disgusted. I mean, Eric Young is like Santino Marella. They're both great in-ring competitors. Their gimmicks just make it so that you could never take them seriously ever as credible threats because their gimmicks override their talent. This is a lesson to both WWE and TNA. Do something with these guys. Next up is the first of the Bound for Glory series, pitting Samoa Joe versus Rob Van Dam. I will be excited for this match, except for the fact that it's not Joe actually wrestling. It's still that guy in that fucking Joe fat suit. But overall, this was an average match. An average when you talk, and this average should not be a title for a RVD versus Samoa Joe match. This match was very slow, very prodding, like they were just wrestling in molasses. I know both of these guys can go faster and do better than this. It just feels like they were phoning it in. Anyway, RVD wins, further cementing that is not Samoa Joe, and he's still being held by those fucking ninjas. Next up, main event time. Gunner versus Mr. Anderson. This is an okay match. Not the best, but not the worst. The end comes when Anderson calls for his microphone, cuts a small promo, but then gets taken out by Gunner and his finishing move, and Gunner wins. I don't know who the hell Gunner is blowing backstage, but apparently it's working if he got over on 2 world champions back-to-back in a week. Ugh. I don't know, it just feels wrong. I mean, that just kind of demeans the whole TNA world title, since this guy who only won a belt that really has no meaning right now is a belt that I mean, this is the guy who lost to Eric Young, current Eric Young, the crazy Eric Young, and he just went over on both Sting and Anderson in the span of 2 weeks. I don't know if I agree with this push. But anyway, moving on. Last quote-unquote match. Double J, Jeff Jarrett versus Kurt Angle in a street fight. Or a parking lot brawl. Or Iron Circle match. Or whatever. For some reason, Kurt decided this was a good time to show off his wrestling skills in a street fight. It was pretty much what you expect. It was just blah. It was just, if this is the end of the feud, I'm glad, but they could be better. But they should have just left it at Slammiversary and been done with that. This match, this was just shitty. But in the end, Kurt walked away, and I don't know. I don't know. My thoughts? Hold on a second. Shitty Raw, man, shitty Impact. Save for that Triple Threat X Division match, this was a very skippable and shitty Impact. So, just watch it for the X Division match. That's it. Don't watch anything before or after. Just watch it for the X Division match. You'll be happy. Everything else, skip it. Don't watch it. Now I gotta go. Now, I'm gonna need some more beer. Anyway, that's my review of Impact. Tune in tomorrow when I review or try to review SmackDown, the SmackDown before Sorry about that watch. It appears shintigercurl can't hold his liquor. Well, anyway, that's it up for this edition. I'm not drunk. Yeah, whatever, lad. Well, that's it for this review of Pathetic Wrestling. Tune in for my new show, Ask Joe, where I answer your insipid and stupid questions as only I, Joe, can. So until then, this is me, Joe, and shintigercurl. Wake up! Saying good night, and I slept with your mother last night.